Remember when you could grab a soda for under $1 and it actually tasted like something real? Those days are gone. But what's worse? Some of the brands you've been loyal to for decades have quietly switched to cheaper ingredients, cranked up the artificial sweeteners, and left you with nothing but regret and a weird aftertaste. Today, we're ranking the worst offenders and the 2 brands that haven't sold you out. Here's what we're judging on: ingredient quality, consistency across regions, and whether these brands still deliver what they promise, or if they're just coasting on nostalgia while filling your cup with chemicals you can't pronounce. We've combed through thousands of consumer reviews, Reddit threads, and taste test forums to see what real people are saying when they're not being paid to say it. The budget trap. Let's start with Shasta, the soda you buy when you're broke, or when your cheap uncle stocks the cooler at the family reunion. And look, everyone understands trying to save money, but here's what people are consistently reporting. Shasta tastes like the idea of soda, not actual soda. It's like someone described Dr. Pepper to an alien, and the alien tried to recreate it from memory, one Reddit user wrote. Another compared their grape flavor to purple-flavored cough syrup that got left in a hot car. The real issue isn't that it's inexpensive. It's that the quality varies wildly depending on where and when it was bottled. One 6-pack tastes flat out of the can, another tastes aggressively artificial. There's no consistency, which means you're gambling every time. If you must, stick to their cola if you absolutely need a Shasta product. It's the least offensive of the lineup, though that's not exactly a ringing endorsement. Number 6. Faygo, the Michigan disappointment. Faygo has a cult following, especially in the Midwest, and we're about to make some people in Detroit very angry. But if we're being honest, this brand has been living off regional loyalty and Juggalo memes for way too long. Here's what keeps coming up in reviews: inconsistent carbonation, artificial aftertaste, and a sweetness level that feels like it was calibrated for a 1987 palate. Tastes like they dissolved a bag of sugar into seltzer and added food coloring, one former fan posted. The bigger problem? Faygo uses high fructose corn syrup exclusively, and the cheap kind. You can tell. The mouthfeel is sticky, the sweetness lingers in a bad way, and the next day you feel like you licked a countertop at a gas station. Multiple reviewers mention that Faygo used to be better in the 90s and early 2000s, back when it was made in smaller batches. Now it's mass-produced and shipped across the country, and the quality shows it. One user put it bluntly: Rock and Rye used to be the best thing in Michigan. Now it's just red-dyed regret. If you must, their Moon Mist and Arctic Sun flavors get slightly better reviews than the rest. But honestly, you're better off exploring local craft sodas if you're in the Midwest. Number 5. Big Red. The Texas Overstay Big Red bills itself as a Texas icon. A cream soda with a unique bubblegum meets vanilla flavor. And for a certain generation of Texans, it's tied to childhood memories, Friday night football games, and road trips to South Padre. But here's the problem. Big Red never evolved. It's still using the same formula from 1937. And what felt novel then just tastes dated now. Worse, they doubled down on high fructose corn syrup and red 40 dye, which gives it an almost medicinal edge. One taste tester described it as what you'd get if you melted a pink eraser into sugar water. The reviews are split generationally. Older Texans defend it with their lives. Younger drinkers under 40, they're not impressed. This is what boomers think soda should taste like, one Reddit comment summed up. Another, it's not even that it's bad, it's that it tastes like nothing and too much at the same time. There's also a consistency issue depending on bottling location. Big Red made in Texas reportedly tastes different, and slightly better, than Big Red made in other facilities, which has led to confusion and disappointment among fans who move out of state. If you must, drink it ice cold. Letting it warm up even slightly makes the artificial flavors unbearable. And maybe keep it to nostalgic occasions, not regular consumption. Number 4, RC Cola, the forgotten middle child. RC Cola used to be the scrappy underdog, cheaper than Coke and Pepsi, but good enough to hold its own. That was decades ago. Now it's the soda equivalent of a cover band that forgot the lyrics. What people say tastes like flat Coke with a chemical aftertaste. Why does it feel oily? This is what I imagine Soviet Pepsi tasted like. RC's biggest sin is that it doesn't commit to anything. It's not bold enough to stand out, not cheap enough to justify the compromise, and not consistent enough to build loyalty. The ingredient list reveals the issue. They use a cheaper blend of phosphoric acid and natural flavors that don't quite mesh. The result is a soda that tastes like it's trying to be cola, but keeps getting distracted. One user nailed it. RC Cola is the soda you settle for when the store is out of everything else and you're too tired to go somewhere else. Even worse, RC has quietly reduced carbonation levels in recent years to cut costs, which is why so many people complain it tastes flat even when it's freshly opened. The quality control is inconsistent across regions. Some batches are passable, others taste like they were mixed in someone's basement. If you must, pair it with something strong flavored like barbecue or pizza, so you're not focusing on the soda itself. But honestly, just buy actual Coke or Pepsi. The few cents you save aren't worth it. Number 3. Diet Right, the aspartame overload. Diet sodas are already controversial, but Diet Right takes it to another level. This brand positions itself as the pure diet option. No calories, no sodium, no caffeine, in most varieties. Sounds great on paper. In practice, it's a chemistry experiment gone wrong. The issue is aspartame and acetylsulfame potassium, the two artificial sweeteners Diet Right uses in heavy doses. People report a metallic aftertaste that lingers for hours, a weird coating on the tongue, and headaches after drinking more than one can. Some users claim it leaves a bitter, almost soapy aftertaste that no amount of water can wash away. Tastes like I'm drinking a melted Splenda packet mixed with seltzer, one review read. Another, why does a cola flavor taste like I'm licking aluminum foil? Diet Right's biggest problem is that it hasn't updated its formula since the late 90s. While other diet sodas have experimented with stevia, erythritol, and better flavor masking, Diet Right is still stuck in the aspartame era. The result is a soda that feels outdated and out of touch with what modern consumers want from a zero-calorie drink. If you must, avoid the cola flavors entirely. The fruit flavors, tangerine, black cherry, get slightly better reviews because the artificial sweeteners don't clash as hard with fruit profiles. But even then, you're better off with Zevia or sparkling water. Number 2, Mountain Dew Pitch Black. The gimmick trap standard Mountain Dew is fine. We're not here to bash the classic. But Dew's endless parade of limited edition, exclusive to this gas station chain flavors? That's where things go off the rails. Pitch Black, Baja Blast knockoffs, VOODW, Typhoon. These variants are designed to create hype and move units, not to taste good. And people notice. Pitch Black tastes like grape cough syrup mixed with battery acid, one review stated. Another, why does this flavor exist? Who approved this? The problem with these limited variants is inconsistency. Because they're made in short runs, quality control is looser. You'll get one batch that's okay, and another that tastes like someone dumped food coloring into the wrong tank. The dye levels are also absurdly high. Pitch Black uses so much dye that people report it temporarily staining their tongue and teeth. But the real kicker? These variants are loaded with even more caffeine and sugar than regular Dew. A 20 oz Pitch Black contains 91 grams of sugar and 90 ml of caffeine, more than a Tuppen 12 oz Red Bull. You're not just getting bad flavor, you're getting a borderline dangerous dose of stimulants and sweeteners. If you must. If you're going to drink Mountain Dew, stick to the original or Code Red. At least those have decades of consistency behind them. Skip the hype-driven variants unless you enjoy looking like you just ate a Smurf. Number 1. Mountain Lightning or Dr. Thunder, the Walmart gamble. Here's the worst offender. Store brand knockoffs like Mountain Lightning, Walmart, Dr. Thunder, Walmart, and similar generics from Kroger, Aldi, and regional chains. These are the sodas you buy when you're broke, desperate, or convinced you can't taste the difference. You can. What makes these so bad isn't that they're cheap, it's that they're cheap and unpredictable. One batch of Mountain Lightning might taste vaguely like Mountain Dew. The next tastes like carbonated cough syrup with a side of regret. There's no consistency because these are produced by third-party bottlers using the lowest cost ingredients available at the time. People are brutal in the reviews. Tastes like someone tried to clone Mountain Dew using only a faded memory and corn syrup. Dr. Thunder is what happens when you ask AI to make Dr. Pepper, but you're using a calculator from 1987. I'd rather drink tap water with food coloring. The ingredient quality is rock bottom. High fructose corn syrup, artificial flavors with no attempt to replicate the original properly, inconsistent carbonation, and dyes that don't match the flavor profile. The aftertaste is universally described as chemical, off, or wrong. These sodas don't just taste bad, they represent everything wrong with the modern soda industry. Brands cutting corners, banking on consumer ignorance or financial desperation, and delivering a product that barely qualifies as the thing it's imitating. If you must, don't. Seriously. If money is tight, buy one real soda and savor it instead of 6 store-brand disasters. You'll enjoy it more and save yourself the disappointment. The safe picks. Worth your money. So what should you drink if you still want soda without the regret? Mexican Coke in a glass bottle. Real cane sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup. The difference is night and day. Cleaner sweetness, better mouthfeel, no weird aftertaste. Available at most grocery stores now in the international aisle. Costs a bit more, but you're paying for actual quality. Zevia. If you want 0 calorie without the aspartame nightmare, Zevia uses stevia and natural flavors. The cola flavor is surprisingly solid, and the fruit varieties, cream soda, black cherry, ginger ale, beat every diet soda we mentioned today. No metallic aftertaste, no headaches, no regret. Found at Target, Whole Foods, and most major chains now.